Good evening. Happy thriving Tuesday. How you doing?
How you doing? Happy Tuesday.
We are here. We are live. We are in the building, and we are ready to recap season 16, episode 7 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nashville Hold 'Em. What's
Mhm.
going on, Auntie?
Nothing. What's going on? I'm glad to be here. We sorry, y'all, we couldn't recap last night, but we here doing a recap today. So join us. There's a lot going on with Roa. On the screen, behind the scenes, on the Instagram, there's a whole lot going on with Roa. Hey, Justin, we
Hey,
haven't seen you.
Dustin.
Yep. Okay. Well, go ahead, Royaire.
Yes, it is a lot going on. Now that you say that, let's just talk for a second. Listen,
Mm.
people, normally we would be live on Monday, but we were had a little busy yesterday. So we're here. Hit that share button. Let the people know we are here to recap Real Housewives of Atlanta episode 7. But while we're waiting on y'all to come on in the building and hit that like button, there is a lot going on off camera. Everybody is now starting a YouTube channel. We got Kenya Moore has started a YouTube. Nene Leakes has a YouTube now. Portia's got a YouTube. Shamia's got a YouTube. I mean,
Had one.
yes, Shamia has a YouTube. Her mom was on there the other day. Her sister was on there the other day. I've
Wow.
been watching. I love a good podcast. So, I'll watch a segment real in a heartbeat. Okay.
Okay, come on now.
Yes. And the people are talking. Are y'all going to talk about Mia? We talked about Mia briefly earlier today, me and Diva.
Mm.
And Giselle told us she aired Mia out on live TV, so we weren't shocked. You know, I shared with Diva. We'll talk briefly. I shared with Diva. I don't think that she's fit for the Real Housewives. I think she's fit for Love and Hip Hop. I think she's fit for the Atlanta Love and Hip Hop streets, and she can go on over there with Shorty. And be a part of them. But I think she will declass, in Mariah's words, she will declass the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we don't need no more of that.
Listen, I think these ladies are smart by doing their own YouTube. Like, why not, right? Go out there, make that money, get that money every way you can, because at the end of the day, you never know what's going to happen with that Roa check. And many have seen it, right? So Kenya Moore seeing that, the Roa check, it could come and it could go. Okay, when her Roa check left, she was kind of sort of like in a jam. So it's nice to see that these ladies are, they have their own channel, and I subscribe. And when I get a chance to look at the video, I can. I have to be honest with you. Confessions of Kenya Moore. That video did good for her, but I couldn't sit through the whole thing because I was just like the gaslighter for me. I couldn't do it.
I got through it. I think I told you I was able to get through it. And Kenya has a different way of seeing things and believing things and rehearsing things in her mind. And they say if you rehearse a lie long enough, it will become the truth. So,
okay.
But like you said, I think financially it is a great idea. It's smart. People want that behind the scenes look into the girls and then to the show. And, those who support her, I think that they will really enjoy it because she's spilling her side of the tea. I think a lot of people feel that because Kenya got kicked off, she didn't get an opportunity to explain herself the way that Brit did. And so this gives her her opportunity to be able to explain herself. Now, whether or not that's going to help her or not, we'll see going on in the future. Also, I think the thing about YouTube, and then we'll kind of move on, is that you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You have to have good content, for people to stick around and for you to get, good numbers. So I think it'll be interesting to see how long the ladies stick around, and even after their season goes off, what they will do with the followers that they have and the content that they create. So we'll see.
Time will tell, but it seems like so far all the ladies that started their channel, it seems like so far they're all doing good. So I'm happy for them.
Well, I guess we got to give a shout out to Dr. Heavily then, because she really started all of this mess.
Now you doing too much.
Shout out to Dr. Heavenly for teaching the girls how to get their coins, okay? She said get on the YouTube and get your coin, okay? She taught the girls, and they're finally listening. So
Yeah.
more drama, more mess. But we are here. We're going to get right into this for episode 7 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16. We are live on both channels, so make sure you hit the like button on both channels. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and share our videos with someone tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. And shout out to the Rewatch crew. So, Nashville Hold 'Em. We are headed to Nashville for Porsha's birthday. Now we are, off of a rough, episode last week and the week before. Kenya had her moment with Brit. Brit had a moment with Kenya. Kenya has, been removed from the show. A lot of the ladies disliked and thought it was distasteful what Kenya did. Brit hosted a peace brunch last episode to kind of bring some peace in the group. Well, it wasn't very peaceful at the end of the peace brunch because Brit felt that, Angela specifically was not seeing things her way and wasn't very compassionate about what was going on with her. And so that leads us into this week's episode. So we open up with Brit and her husband, Mike. They're out looking for a new car. And so, Brit says she's had a rough couple of weeks. She's had some rough nights rough nights not being able to sleep. She hasn't been able to really eat, and run her business regularly as she regularly would. And so, she's out looking for a new car with her husband. And, her motto is she's supposed to get a new car every 2 years. Apparently, that's the deal her and her husband had. And so they're out looking at Rolls Royces and all these sports cars and fancy cars and everything else. And so, Brittany said a happy life is a happy wife. So she's enjoying her day out doing her shopping. We have a moment with Drew, Angela, together. Drew comes over to Angela's house. Drew walks in with a $5,000 purse, and Angela notices it immediately, okay? She said, "Oh, Drew, you got the coins, honey. We see you." Drew is, going through things with Ralph, she's got a lot going on. But Angela, she kind of wants to talk about Drew and her lies. Because apparently, last episode, Drew said that she was related to the Jordans, Michael D. Jordan. And so Angela said, "Girl, listen, I called Marcus and I found out that y'all are not related. So cut the crap, okay? It is what it is." Drew said she was just playing, and Angela said, "Listen, those are the type of games we played in grade school. Move on, girl. Stop lying to us." Angela, feels that there was a lot of drama at the peace party the other day. Angela says she came in to bring peace and to, help Brit get over, what she was really going through. And she wanted to hear Brit Edie's side of the conversation. Drew said it wasn't very peaceful at all. Angela also said the food was half cooked, uncooked, and it just was not shade. Okay. We hopped over to Kelly's house because Kelly is hosting a little day brunch as well. We have Cynthia, Shamia, and Porsha with her as well. Cynthia arrives first. And so Cynthia said, she's no longer married, but she is dating, and that, down through the years that she's realizing the young guys like people Kelly's age, the older guys like ladies Cynthia's age, okay? And so she said, listen, she just happy to be liked all together in general, okay? Porsha pops up, into the house unannounced. And so Kelly said, "Who is coming just walking in my house?" Security. And so they kiki and laugh about it. Shamia dances in right behind Porsha, not too far after. Porsha asks, what was wrong with Kelly's dog? Because Kelly's dog looked like a mangy dog from the streets. And so Kelly said, unfortunately, somebody stole her dog a while back, and she found the dog on Craigslist. And so when she found the dog, she wanted to make sure that nobody else ever stole the dog again. So I guess she made the dog look as ugly as possible. But the colors that she dyed the dog are vegan, so it's okay, and it's animal cruelty free. Porsha asked, how was the peace brunch? And Kelly shared that it was a showdown. It was a SHIT show. It just was not good. Brit was in her feelings. The dog looked ridiculous. Yes, the dog did. Sad. Truly, truly sad. It was scary looking for sure. I was like, you couldn't have thought of just one basic color to dye the dog, but okay. The dog was pink. He was purple. He was blue. He had a stripe of green. Like, what are we doing? Like,
sorry, that made me laugh.
No, that was hilarious. I was like, what is going on here?
Oh, God.
So, Kelly said that the lunch was it was not good. Brit and Angela just had a moment, okay? So there was a lot of jumping back in between. So I'm gonna kind of jump in and out like they did. We jumped back to Brit and Mike, and so Mike asked how was she feeling about Angela, and so Brit feels that Angela's not a girl's girl. She's not supportive. She's very judgmental, and she's not very sympathetic. In certain situations where Brit feels that she should have been. Brit says that Angela needs to mind her business because apparently Charles got a little baby out here in these streets that everybody else knows about except for Angela, or possibly Angela is acting like she doesn't know about it. But instead of keeping her nose in my business, she need to worry about hers, is what Brit said. We jumped over to Drew and Angela again. And so Angela felt that the peace gathering was supposed to be a time of growth for us to come in and understand one another and understand what happened and get some answers. Drew shares that Brit texted her and asked her to go to lunch because Brit felt like they got off on the wrong foot. She kind of wants to fix things and get it back together on the right foot. But Drew said, we'll just let that sit and see how that goes. Angela asked, how Drew was dealing with Ralph in the house. Drew shared that this is Ralph's weekend. This going back and forth thing is just too much. Drew said that they have a court date coming up on Friday to find out, if Ralph will be able to stay in the home or leave the home to get his financial documents, and also to determine if the sealing of the case will be released, publicly for everyone to know about. Let's see. Sorry. Angela asked about Dennis and Ralph being cool. Drew said the funny thing about all of this is Dennis and Ralph, they was good before this whole divorce situation, and Porsha. Then when all of this came out, everybody started tripping and acting like they wasn't cool. We jumped back to Cynthia, Kelly, Shamia, and Porsha. Cynthia asks, well, speaking of you guys, did you and Drew move on yet? And Porsha said no. Porsha said she is moved on, but she's letting it go. She ain't focusing on it. She sees Drew for who she is, and that is what it is. Cynthia was like, so y'all good? Porsha said, you're using a lot of great adjectives. I wouldn't describe us as good, but I'm just moving on. Now Cynthia said in her confessional, Porsha ain't really moving on. She's saying she don't care, but she really does care. And we will see that later on in the next episode, possibly. Porsha's birthday is coming up, and she said that for the past 2 years, she shared her birthday with Simon. Her and Simon's birthday are literally like, 2 or 3 days from each other, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so it's awkward for her to be by herself, but she wants to go away to celebrate with her friends and those who really, she's in good spaces with to celebrate her birthday. So she invited the ladies on a birthday trip to Nashville. We jump back to Drew and Angela. Angela says that Porsha called her about a birthday trip and she wants her to come to Nashville. Now Drew was not invited on this trip. When Angela asked on the phone FaceTime call about this trip, Drew said that she could hear everybody else except for Angela. Apparently, Angela was still on the mute challenge. But Angela would like for Drew to show up to this birthday celebration. And Drew said, absolutely not. We are not in that place. She says she's good on me. I'm good on her. Well, Angela feels that she can handle the issues between Porsha and Drew in regards to this whole trip and bring them back to one piece, But Drew said, we'll see how things work out. I'm not promising anything. I'll let you know. So that was the opening scenes of this first part of the episode. Your thoughts and opinions on those three.
Yeah. So, Brit and her husband, we could start there. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to linger on into this Brit situation too much because people are heavily invested on either their team Kenya or their team Brit, right? And not too many people are team Brit. So I'm not going to linger on that, but I will say this. no matter what, I think anybody could probably agree. It's hurtful if somebody is not only just bringing up your past verbally, like even when somebody says something about your past verbally that you don't want to be brought up, it can hurt you. So imagine someone bringing it up and then there's pictures attached to it. I think it could be even more hurtful. So I get the pain and all the suffering that she endured over that. It just, I don't know what it is about Brit and her husband, but it just don't seem like a romantic loving relationship to me.
Did
It
you see
just,
that clip
what?
that Tasha K put out with Brit's assistant?
No. Wait, you got to tell me what happened.
Should I tell you or should I show you?
Well, go, let's show it now that we
Okay,
do
go
it.
ahead and finish your part, and I.
Okay. So, I just don't see, there's no chemistry there. It's like zero chemistry whatsoever. It's not even a believable relationship. It's reminding me almost of, what's the name? Stacy from, what show was that again? Potomac.
Potomac. Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Uh,
Why we forget his name?
Oh my God, TJ.
TJ. Stacey is reminding me of Stacey and TJ. And listen, TJ talked all that mess, but he never showed us no receipts.
Not a one.
He never
All on
showed
the Instagram.
Yeah. So anyway, but they reminded me of that. This whole car thing, I'm like, okay, I guess they needed a scene to do. But every time she talks to her husband about her feelings, it's like he's feeling less. It's like he has no emotions. It's just the weirdest thing to me, right? So that is what it is with those particular two, right? And when it came to Angela House and Drew, I get it. Go ahead and show because I see you got it up. Go ahead and show. Let's see this. Oh God, am I ready?
All of this is allegedly. This we don't know any truth to this. I'm just showing what was showed, people.
Okay.
Because she good at it. I call her Headhunter Edie. But her husband a headhunter too.
What you mean?
I used to host sex parties in Houston and in Atlanta for DL men. You pay $30 in cash, or you pay $32 cash app. I used to run the door in Houston, and then I branched off. It's called the Lifestyle Lounge in Houston. Baby, the who's who goes to those events. Special invites.
So what is you saying?
You may have been at a party or 10, 15.
No, I'm not saying nothing.
20.
Brit Edie husband?
So he extra. See, he
This
extra.
guy?
Yeah, that guy. Michael Cunningham. And we have the same last name, by the way.
I was gonna ask, how do y'all have the same last name?
No relations.
But you have had relations. Does Brit know this?
She should know her man gay. Anybody can see that. With two words.
I mean, I saw it on the couch. He looked a little different. I don't know if gay was the word, but he looked different. He looked standoffish. He looked like he just want to duck his head and mind his business.
I call it a lavender marriage.
What's a lavender marriage?
When a straight woman marries a gay man for whatever reason, for protection, for money, for status.
Do we have a $32 receipt? Now, this was a cash app. It looks like from her husband to you.
Keep the time.
2:03 a.m.
That's the night of one of my parties.
Why would he use his whole name?
My whole name's on there.
This was on my daughter's birthday. My daughter and my mama are born on March 27th, and y'all are having sex parties at 2:00.
Who dick did she suck to get on the show?
Well, oh my gosh.
Now, I would just like to mention that all of this is allegedly, but I did say from the beginning of this season that something was not right with this man. I definitely said that.
I mean, it would explain him having no emotions. And then I think some people said they couldn't find the marriage certificate and she really didn't have a ring on. Listen, I said this is giving TJ and Stacy like fake relationship, not real. Even when it comes time to like be emotional and hug, like come on, clutching the pearls, okay? Pearls. Even when it comes to him being emotional towards her, he's not. It's almost like he's not even. Yeah, that is a lot, Savannah. It's almost like he's not even her friend, though. Like I have friends that are more affectionate than that, and we not even dating. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot.
I mean, if it's a relationship out of convenience, then what's the necessary to be affectionate about?
I guess. I mean, but she's doing this to herself. Don't they know that everybody finds out everything and you always going to have somebody to speak? This man, he dead wrong with his wine up there telling Tasha K all the business is showing the cash.
Not that we have $32.
He said it's $30, but if you gotta use Cash App, because I guess Cash App charge him, you gotta pay $32.
And Cash App do charge you to cash that coin out. Either you gotta wait 3 business days, or you gotta pay that fee.
You gotta pay that fee. So he said 32 if you want Cash App me. Listen, this man is Mike. You should have never did this, but I guess Brittany told him she would give him some of the coins that she made. I don't know. This is a hot mess. But even if we didn't get that tea, Royaire, you could tell that Brit and Mike is nothing there. Is nothing there. It's just crazy. So yeah, that's crazy. That's sad. But that scene with them, it was what it was. It was a filler scene. And yes, somebody mentioned it. I didn't get to catch it because you were showing that almost had me fall off my seat. But her putting her leg up in front of the salesperson, she's just doing too much. And you know what's so crazy? You just said you was emotional about somebody telling you, and showing pictures of you in such a compromising way. And you want to tell us, you got an insurance license, and then you going to put your leg up in the car in front of a salesperson. You got to make it make sense, right? Because it don't. But all I can say is I wish Brit well. It's a shame because I think she's an absolute gorgeous girl. Did she need to do all of this to be where she's at? I don't know what she's doing, but it's crazy.
Lisa said nobody paying Cash App for a S party. This sounds fake. I think people forget that technology is technologying today in these days, and I think people see like Cash App and
right. Why would he think it would ever come up? You
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think because cash is not the way of the world anymore. Everybody is doing Cash App and Venmo and all of these different apps. So it's easy to pull a receipt now. It ain't hard. It's really not.
Yeah, and it had his full government name. And who randomly gives $32? Yeah, he was paying to get in that party. So he was paying to get
Tasha daughter and mother birthday.
Child. Listen, it's a mess. So I go to Angela and Drew coming over to Angela's house. I never want anybody to lose their job or their check, right? But Drew, she lucked up being on the Real Housewives this long. I don't know what they see that she's given to the show, right? Because they said Drew lies and Drew lies. For you to say that Michael Jordan is your family and you was dead serious in front of the people and you had Angela call it Marcus Jordan. Now, Charles Oakley, he's part of the thing. Angela might have some connections. She said she spoke to Marcus and Marcus said, who that? Drew ain't my cousin. So I don't know. She just do too much. Angela inviting Drew to the thing. That's what they got to do to I guess start some controversy. But I thought it was messy. And if I was Drew, knowing that Porsha ain't feeling me and that Porsha is the queen of shade, I'd be like, what Angela thinks. But unless Porsha herself invite me, I'm not coming.
I'm good.
Because Porsha is the queen of shade. Okay, she's shady, and then you figure she learned the best from her girlfriend, freaking Frat. Okay, you know that what's her name?
Phaedra.
Phaedra Parks. She know how to shade people, and
Mhm.
Porsha and Phaedra, they coming back together as freaking Flat. So that some of that is rubbing off on Porsha. Porsha know how to shade the people. That's why she was like, "Nah, I ain't really good with her. You using too many pretty nice words." So if I was Drew, unless Porsha herself invited me, it would have been a hard no for me. I'm not going, right? And so yeah, she said she was joking about, Michael Jordan being her cousin. Now, also, now I will say this. Now, who knew that Angela had it in her? Angela shaded the heck out of that brunch. She said the grits needed to be cooked some more. I said,
Oh my God. Not the
not
happy
you saying the peach brunch. I was just like, O'Neal said, Mia be lying, Drew be lying. So, I just was like, all right, those two together, that scene, it was interesting. It was what it was. I will say this. I do feel for Drew in terms of this divorce, because divorce is always nasty. Well, I can't say always. For the most part, it's nasty, and you just go through your ups and downs, and it is what it is. Now, Kelly, Cynthia, Porsha, and all of them at Kelly's house. And you know what? Sasuke said it best. I don't know what else to say. The dog did look ridiculous. I mean, so it's just crazy. The ladies talking about, everything that happened, and if Porsha was gonna I don't believe nothing Drew said. I know I don't believe nothing Drew says either. It's just I don't know why she just seems to not be able to tell the truth. Now Shamia was over there. They had the whole crew pretty much at Kelly's house. Kelly to the entertainment and all that. And every time she entertained her, she made sure she got food and everything for the peoples, right? So what I will say is about this whole situation is I mean, it was a conversation. It was what it was. Am I shocked that Porsha, said that she's not really feeling Drew like that? No, because Porsha is dead serious about you don't film and do nothing with her baby daddy. I mean, Porsha had a whole husband. And okay, now she's getting divorced, and she's still worried about who will do what with the baby daddy. Now, she also said that Drew is a pathological liar. And she is. Lakeisha, thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. This is why it's considered sexual harassment in the workplace when Kenya did, because now this woman and her husband are being harassed, and it's not right. It's not right, but it's seeming like, I don't know. Now we don't know if Mike is the husband or if he's just a friend. We don't know what's going on with Mike. We don't. This is crazy. But see, that's probably why Mike don't say much. He laid back because he know that he's being like maybe perhaps a fraud. Okay. Now Angela was fired from Wells Fargo for stealing $17,000.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Where they put, oh my God.
Do tell, Sasuke. Do tell.
I can't with these people. Not you stole $17,000 from the bank. Oh God. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah. Miss Amy said, oh Lord. She ain't never loved Lord. Okay. I don't know. But that's what pretty much my thoughts on those scenes for you.
Yeah, I really enjoy having Cynthia back as a friend this season. Cynthia is giving. I really love it. We have seen so much of Cynthia's life through these, past 11 seasons. And so to see Cynthia as a friend, but still a part of the show and kind of clocking tea, I'm really enjoying it. I loved her confessional about what she's not willing to put up with a man, in this time of her life. I thought that was hilarious.
She finally figured it out. 3 marriages or how many later?
And I'm questioning this new relationship because he's so young and not from here. But, we'll leave that alone.
We'll let her be. We'll let Cynthia live. As long as she don't come on Row and talk about she engaged. That's it. I'm shutting off my TV. I promise you that. I am shutting off the TV, and she come talk about she can date this man. Yeah, I love Cynthia too.
Yes, I love Cynthia this episode. It was really, really good. Angela and Drew's conversation, you know, I'm still getting to know Angela, in the words of Cynthia. I feel because Drew is an actress in real life, I don't think she knows how to be authentic. So I feel like she's putting on for a camera as if she would if she were in a movie or a show or something like that. And that's why I just cannot receive the things that Drew says and do. I don't take them serious because I feel like that she's just doing a job. I really, really do think that. So yeah, interesting scenes though. I love the ladies together, you know, having their moments and, you know, having a good time. So it was great. And so that was that. So we had a few flash scenes. Moving on. We have Kelly is out practicing with her eldest daughter on driving, which that was a cute little moment. We have Shamia in the studio. She's recording. Angela is at home making some homemade fries for the kids. And Angela got another nose job or something happened with her nose. And so the girls in the noses and not being able to breathe this season is a hot mess, but you know, they've got that going on.
I know you got to finish, but let me just say this real. No, see, Clear, don't do that. 5:25.
Because you know Cynthia loved the 5s and the 50s, okay? Because that's her era.
Oh God, that took me out. Not 5:20. Don't do that, Clear. Don't do that because I will turn off the TV. Andre said, I love Angela Oakley. Listen, let me say this. Angela should have never let nobody touch her nose. Now it looks ridiculous. I don't know what the before looked like, but the aftermath, and then she tried to get the Botox. She's just playing games. And then the son clowning her. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So we had a moment with Cynthia and Porsha. They went out for drinks. Cynthia said that she was shocked that to hear about Simon and her splitting up. She never thought that would have happened. Porsha said, you know, I didn't either. You know, we were so good together. We had a family. We were close knit. He treated my mom right. He treated me right. He treated Pilar right. And it was just like we woke up one day and I had no clue who I was laying next to pretty much. Porsha said, you know, she wants to take a trip for her birthday because she just needs to get away, to reset, you know, to get her mind off of things and to clear her head, you know, and so she feels that Nashville is the perfect place to do that. They can go away and heal and just kind of enjoy themselves and, you know, do what they do. So they are going to be taking a trip to Nashville and Cynthia will be a part of that as well. Drew and Brit outside of sitting together. Drew and Brit, they had lunch together. Drew was glad, you know, that Brit reached out to her to kind of have a little conversation. Brit felt that her and Drew definitely, you know, started off on the wrong foot. She also felt that Drew took a lot of sides of Kenya in that whole messy situation. And so she just wanted to be able to sit down and talk to Drew and kind of get a real understanding, introduce herself and get to know Drew for more than what everything that happened. Drew felt that Brit was really celebrating when Kenya was kicked off the show. And so that's, you know, what Drew's issue kind of was with Brit and why they haven't really connected just yet. You know, Brit said, imagine, you know, going through, you know, being exposed and, you know, being put out on Front Street for something you've done or in the past or even now. And Drew said, you know, I've been there. I totally understand that. I'm there right now with the situation with my divorce. So I completely understand. And I do apologize that you felt that I was, you know, taking Kenya's side or judging you for something that you did. You know, Drew wanted to know, you know, if Brit has sold the cat before. Did you sell the cat? She asked. And Brit was like, huh? What? No, never done that. And so she said that she's done internet with her friend before. They sat on the internet and did webcam and they were naked, but they were just talking and having conversation. But you know, that was over 20 years ago. So she, you know, is not ashamed of it. She did what she did and she has moved on, you know. that was pretty much the wrapping up of that scene. You know, Drew apologized for making fun of Brit in that whole situation because Brit felt made fun of and she felt that Drew wasn't taking it serious, you know, and so they said that they're moving forward in a good direction and that they were glad that they had lunch together. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
talked about Cynthia and Porsha.
no, I got it. So Kelly and her daughter driving, right? I thought that was so incredibly cute. Right?
That was cute.
I think she has just a really cute family. And I'm feeling Kelly for the most part. For the most part, you know, we got issues with all of them. But for the most part, I am definitely feeling Kelly.
She's true to herself. She's most true to herself.
I feel like she is. I really do. And I think her daughter's adorable. So I'm loving it. I'm getting a feeling though, as a side note, that you know, because you see mostly her and the older daughter. I feel like maybe the dad is giving her a little trouble about showing the other kids, but you know, anyway, it is what it is. But I still think I love Kelly so far. Shamia, she not playing with this singing. Okay. So, you know, Shamia, you know, she got a little singing career going on. I'm loving it. Now, Angela cooking with the kids and the Botox in her nose. Let me say this. Angela, I don't know why you botched up your nose like that, but it's over. You botched it up. You got to let it go. You got to live with it. You understand? The Botox not going to help you. And then she need Charles to come there and cook. Because her making them fries and putting it on the paper towel next to the counter, it's something about it wasn't even really looking right. But her kids are adorable. You know, one thing I love about these shows, Roy, is I just love seeing the kids for whatever reason. I just really do. I love seeing the kids. I love getting to see the kids perhaps grow up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I just love about the kids. So, you know, Angela is Angela. I don't know how Angela quite fits in this situation. I'm still trying to get to know Angela. We trying to get to know you, Angela.
In the words of Cynthia, you know, we're not besties. We're just still getting to know you.
We're still getting to know you, okay? So yeah, we're trying. We ain't signing you off yet, but you seeming something. I don't know how I feel yet, but we trying to feel you, Angela. So hang in there with us as we try to hang in there with you. Porsha and Cynthia. Be his piece, honey. I love when Cynthia brought that up. Listen, with anybody you're with, you need to be their piece and they need to be your piece. Okay. And when they not, then that's when you got to move on. You got to go. So, you know, I let me tell you this, what I feel for Porsha, right? What I feel like I know about Porsha is Porsha prefers to be in a loving marriage, right? Porsha never want to be nobody's baby mama or, you know, nobody's, you know, just girlfriend or whatever the case may be. I'm feeling for Porsha because I think that she wants a husband. And if Dennis wasn't for the streets, I think her and Dennis are still in love and they would be so cute together. But you know, Dennis is still for these streets. So good luck to Porsha. And let me tell you something about Shamia while we at it. Didn't I tell you Shamia liked the shorts?
You did.
Every time Shamia show up, she got on some booty shorts. Okay?
Shorts.
I guess Shamia just don't like the pants, honey. Shamia forever wearing some poom poom shorts, but you know what? She got the booty and the legs for it. So go Shamia, right? This Brit and Drew conversation, I thought Drew was being hecka messy. Have you ever sold the poom poom? Let's not do that to each other, ladies. Like, that's just so mean. It's just so nasty, so rude. And you know, Brit and her conversation was their conversation. I ain't feel left about it. I ain't feel right about it. I was just like, all right, it's their conversation.
Yeah,
you know, that was that.
Period. I agree with all of those sentiments, so I'm with you on that. Today we are at Drew and Ralph's court date now. You know, Drew and Ralph have been fighting back and forth for about a year now. You know, at the beginning, Drew filed for divorce. The order was for Ralph to move into the basement. Apparently, he couldn't afford to get a place of his own, and Drew couldn't afford to sustain the household. So she's living upstairs. He's living downstairs in the basement. Well, you know, Ralph is now on his third attorney. You know, the last time he represented himself, it didn't go too well. So he now has new representation. Drew is meeting with her attorney, and so they are going to make sure that the divorce remains sealed and from the public, and to get child support, which will require Ralph to turn in his financial obligations, as far as everything, he makes, from the workforce. Ralph feels that this is just going too far. He feels that he pays all the bills in the house and that he shouldn't have to move out. He's taking care of everything. This is his house. They went ahead into the courthouse. Drew met with her attorney prior to going into. She said she felt like this was going to be a really good court hearing. She was excited and everything was going to work out well. Well, she should have called Phaedra, because if she wanted these results, she could have went with Phaedra. Apparently, Drew came out of the court, and the ruling was that the documents will be unsealed and that there will be public information going out here to the public in regards to their marriage divorce filing. Ralph was not forced to turn in his financial documents, and he's able to stay in the basement. So no child support order was made at this court hearing. He did not get put out of the house, and Ralph is, still allowing to do what he want to do. Ralph was very happy about, the ruling of the judge on that day. He said, I did real good, coming in with my new attorneys versus coming in by myself. Drew left out, and she was very upset. She was just confused and lost on how this went so left. And as she was leaving, she rolled down to Ralph and said, "You're a butthole. You're wrong for this, and I can't believe you've done this." So, Drew said that she refused, or Ralph is saying that he refuses to be the villain in this marriage. Drew said that she was not concerned about the court unsealing the documents for her. She was concerned more so for Ralph and for the children. But the way she's panicking, there's got to be some information in there about her that she does not want released. So I'll stop there because next we're going to be heading on to Nashville. So your thoughts on that scene?
The court scene was sad.
Yes.
It was just sad. I get a little, it always breaks my heart when a couple is breaking up, especially when they have children involved and they have a family. And, I don't know. I feel like too, even though as much as we do and we blog and everything, Royaire, I feel like cases like that, it should be sealed, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The public doesn't need to know because my whole thing always is protect the kids, right?
Yes.
So it's just sad that that's going to have to be put out there. And I think that, Ralph and his lawyer, I think the way that even a lawyer behaved leaving was just like deplorable to me.
So horrible.
Because this is just sad. And Ralph is a butthole. I feel that way too. And I don't know. That scene was just, as much as Drew, does what she does and she gets on my nerves with what she does. I felt for her in that scene because I just thought like this is a lose-lose situation no matter how you look at it. And he thought it was a joke. So yeah. I don't know. It's just sad.
Yeah, I'm just like, what kind of man are you to celebrate,
Yeah,
the details of your marriage being exposed to the world for your children to hear about this? And in one sentence you claim you don't want to hurt your ex-wife or your family and your children, but in the next breath you're excited and happy that all of this information is coming out. You don't want to move out of the house, but you don't want to support Drew while you're in the house. It's very confusing, and for you to be the man that you claim to put up here and be, I was just very disheartened by what was shown in his behavior in this episode.
Keisha, we appreciate you. The House with Ralph, Drew's first season on the show, episode 2 to 3, Ralph took her to the house and said, "This is ours." She didn't even know he bought it. For your name to be on the house, you have to be at the closing. That's why she has to leave for weekends. Okay. Got it. But you know what though, and I get all of that. Shout out to the men that, even though they know that's the case, they just do right by the woman, even if for the name of the kids, not so much just because like I like right for the love of the kids, because even sometime when I saw his Easter pictures, her oldest son wasn't in the pictures. It was the two kids they have together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's always hard if you have a child and then you and that child's father doesn't work out, and then you go and you get married and you have more children. It's kind of what Kelly is going through now, right? Because he was a father to the oldest daughter when they was together, but then at the divorce, it's like, okay, well, that oldest one ain't mine anyway. Shout out to the men who care for the children that is not their biological kids. I guess I'll put that like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to those men. Because and God bless them. And I know a few men that it is not their biological kid, but you can never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bonus child becomes a weapon. Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah.
This is just all messy. Let's see. Emmanuel just sent me something.
Okay.
It looks like this is Ralph's statement after his case. He says, "Thanks to my attorney, Precious Anderson, for taking over my case and having our records unsealed. You clearly see through the smoking mirrors. My kids mean the world to me, and your game plan will make sure I maintain a relationship with them. You are the true MVP." Mm. The only reason someone wouldn't want files unsealed is because it holds truth that they don't want out. I'm sorry that what fans believed all this time was just a storyline. It's great acting. What's real? I'm fighting for at least 50-50 custody of my children.
Well, I will say this to his defense. Maybe they're both liars. I know they're saying he's a liar, but unfortunately for Drew, we've seen in real time that she doesn't tell the truth always either. It's just, it's just so it's messy. It's sad.
Yeah, this is really messy. It's really, really sad.
Yeah.
And when you say you're fighting for your children, do you mean all of your children or just the two that you have with Drew?
He talking about the two he had with Drew, which is super sad.
That's what I feel too, and I think it's horrible. It's deplorable.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sure that there could have been a way that y'all could have worked this out without bringing it to the world. I'm really sure that it is, but two people have to be in a place of maturity and growth in order to do that, and obviously Ralph and Drew are not there at all. So thanks, Emmanuel, for that information. We appreciate you always looking out for us. So that was that. Best of wishes to Drew and the family with this whole mess of their divorce. Hopefully they can hurry up and get separated and move on and, keep the kids in a positive space. That's what really matters to me, is keeping the kids in a positive space, in all of the children, not just the two that you have with her. Yeah. So we are headed to Nashville. The ladies are heading out all together. Everyone is on this trip present except for Drew, who was not invited by Porsha, and Angela, who missed her flight. Now, Angela, she says that she left the house late in her confessionals. Traffic was not kind to her, and so she ended up missing the flight. But she is on a later flight headed to the Nashville girls trip with Porsha. Let's see. We get to the house. Brit is saying that she's having issues with breathing out of her nose once we land. So all the girls and they nose job issues. Shamia wants to, get back fat removed because we're riding in the van talking about all of our issues. Porsha said she was going to get a boob job, but the men don't deserve it, so she's going to keep the girls right where they are. The ladies pull up to the house in Nashville. You know, they're loving the place. It's giving Cynthia's Lake Bailey, but Lake Nashville. You know, it's right off of a lake, a beautiful home. You know, they all come in. They're greeted by a cowboy who's serving drinks. You know, they are greeted by Chef Dev, who is catering for the weekend, you know, and they seem like they're all having a good time. Porsha said, let's sit down and let's eat, because y'all know my girl Porsha loved to eat. Cynthia said, girl, let's go check out the rooms first. We want to see the rooms. So they went out and toured the rooms. We have, it looks like it was 3 master bedrooms with a bathroom attached to them. And then there was a room with bunk beds and then a room with 4 beds. So, you know, of course, Shamia and Porsha got the 2 masters. Angela got the master suite down in the basement. Drew got the bunk bedroom, and then Brit and Kelly got the 4 bedroom. Okay, I don't know if Cynthia was staying in the house. I didn't see what room Cynthia got, but she seemed really excited to be on this trip. But I didn't see what room.
You know what? I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So
yeah, I guess we'll see next week.
Next week, right. So, you know, this birthday, Porsha said it feels awkward. Her and Simon are normally together, you know, but now they are not. And so, you know, it feels a little different to be spending her birthday without him. But she's glad that she can go on a girls trip and be with her true girls that she really, really loves. Porsha also said that she loves girl trips. She loves getting with her girls and going now. Now, Cynthia said, I love a good girl trip too, but it's got to be with the right ladies, because every girl you can't go out of town with. Porsha said, you know, you're right, because sometimes these girls go to different cities and they start acting different, and you just don't know what to expect. Brit said that Angela is not a girl's girl. She's not supportive. And she was in disbelief of how Angela spoke to her, you know, and talked about her when they were at the peace brunch. You know, Shamia kind of added a little 2 cents in there too, you know, about, you know, girls, you know, girl code and, you know, not really, you know, being that girl. While they were talking about Angela, Angela was pulling up in the truck. And so Angela walks in the house. And so Angela said in her confessionals, you know, when you walk in a room and you know a bunch of girls been talking about you, these was talking about me. They was talking about me. So Angela comes in, she greets everybody, she sits down, you know, and they're kikiing and talking or whatever. So, you know, Kelly brings up the fact that her and Brit seen Angela and Neiman Marcus. And so Brit said, yeah, we seen you.
That was so shady.
You were hiding in the clothes, trying not to see us. And Angela said, no, that is not true. Brit said she had on her big grandma glasses. Angela said, no, I was not ducking y'all. I was not trying to speak. I spoke. I reached out with open arms. I gave you guys a hug and greeted you. And so Brit said, well, was the hug real? And Angela said, anything I do when I speak, hug, or anything else is always real. I don't do fake. Never. Okay. Angela said, you know, she doesn't go on the stuff. Stuff happens, she lets go, and she moves on. Shamia said, now I can't attest to that because she accepted my olive branch from my olive tree, okay? Porsha said that she was glad that Angela made it. We're going to turn up and have a good time. Angela said, well, speaking of having a good time, I'd like my friend Drew to come on this trip. Porsha said, how you going to show up to the trip late and start making demands on who you want to come on my birthday trip? Kelly asks, did you say she was coming? And Angela said, well, I did send, you know, her an anticipative invite. You know, I do anticipate on her coming and, you know, being a part of this trip. She said that Porsha, you know, told her on the phone that she didn't say on the phone that she couldn't bring her. So she felt like since she didn't say it, she can bring her. Porsha said, it is what it is. I'm not going to let nobody mess up my birthday trip. You know, I'm here to celebrate me. I'm in a new space, a good place, and we're not going to mess up that. Kelly brings up the fact that she, oh, sorry. Yeah, I did that already. I got to start numbering my pages. I'm sorry, y'all. So the ladies reached out to their husbands. Angela reached out to Charles. Charles acted like he couldn't. I don't know if it was an act or not, but he's like, huh? What? Yeah? Huh? So he ain't paying her no attention. Shamia's talking to Gerald. Gerald is out in Target. Apparently, he hasn't been in Target in a long time, and he's enjoying his Target vacations.
That was so cute.
I thought that was too.
Listen, now that's a real marriage.
It is.
That's a real marriage.
I mean, I was like, oh my God, I love them so much.
What's her husband's name?
Gerald.
Can I find a Gerald, please? I'm gonna put it out there.
Paging Gerald in the airport. Paging Gerald in the airport.
I'm just trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, okay?
So Brit is talking to Mike. And so Brit's talking to Mike about Angela inviting Drew, to the party. And of course, Mike acted like he could care less. He was like, oh, okay, whatever. Angela called Drew and let her know that the vibes are good and that she would be good to come on the trip. Drew had a court date recently, as we just talked about. And so she's feeling that she definitely needs to get away to kind of let go of all of the stress and everything that she's got going on. Kelly tells her glam squad, that she tells the ladies that her glam squad is pulling up. She offered Brit a stylist. She feels that Brit, could use a little help in the styling department. So, she's helping out Brit with that. Porsha feels that Angela and her inviting Drew on her birthday was just a little forceful. It's a little shady, and she's not appreciative of how Angela is going about this. Brit said, Pusha P, just hold on to your anger. It'll be okay. We're going to get through this. The ladies met up with Porsha and her sisters and Lauren, down at the place that they went to. The ladies, they rode on a mechanical bull. The two people that did the best were Kelly with 49 seconds and Shamia with 51 seconds. So that was a nice little ride. Drew and Allison, they went to Dennis's club. Apparently Dennis, and Drew, they got a record label to sign to them. And so, they're out celebrating, the music scene and, Drew getting her record deal for the new album. Let's see. Angela, and all of the friend group, they go out together for Porsha's birthday. And so Porsha feels that, Angela impressed inviting Drew onto her birthday trip. She felt, bullied into allowing Drew to come onto the trip. Now, Angela said that she was not forcing Drew, Porsha, or anybody to come on the birthday trip. Angela said that Porsha said that they will be able to coexist in the same area and be together, at group events. So that's why she invited her. Angela felt that Porsha was just being a little over the top. She was talking to her like a child, and she said, you don't have to talk to me like a child, because at this point the conversation has escalated. Portia's in her feelings. She had a few drinks in her, so she going and it's in on and popping. Angela said that she just wanted to help clear up the situation between Porsha and Drew, and Porsha said that is not her job to do. She did not sign her up to be the manager of Drew and Porsha's issues. She felt that she was being messy and bringing bad energy to the birthday party. And Porsha felt that everybody was forgetting it was her birthday because Angela invited Drew to her party. And it's not supposed to be about Drew and Porsha. This is just supposed to be about Porsha. The ladies began to talk about Dennis and Drew and what they had going on. Apparently, Drew and Dennis have been allegedly linking up together with some alleged sexual things going on, and so that's where the episode ended at that point. So that wrapped up. So your thoughts on all of that? Ooh, that
was a lot. So the whole I'm just turning back because I know you read it, but I'm going to turn back to my notes as I talk. Mm-hmm. So the whole headed to Nashville, whatever, was cute. Angela missing her flight. Angela got to get it together, and your luggage fell apart. Listen, Angela, and listen. Oh, we appreciate you, Sarah. Thank you. And and the luggage falling apart, and the fact that you ducked and dived those girls in the Neiman Marcus, what they said was true. She was hiding from them in the Neiman Marcus because she wasn't glammed up, and she didn't want them to see, her unglammed. Okay.
Shit. I thought she didn't want them to see that nose job that she just got done. That's what I was thinking.
Child, it's all of the above. It's a hot, stinking, freaking mess. So don't wish for a Gerald too soon. Not buying the HVAC business.
I weak.
You know what? I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not either. I'm just hoping that her whole world doesn't fall apart. Because listen, that Sterling Hall is everything.
Everything.
I'm hoping it's not lies, but you are right. Let me hold. I need to hold tight, right? You are correct. And then Sats K sent me some information. Kim Paya, he did a podcast, and apparently Kelly owes $100,000 in back rent on something. I'm not with these people. Like, why do they? And she walking around with a whole security guard and flying her stylist out to Nashville with her, and now you telling us you doing an Erica Jane and Tom Girardi, you not paying the bills.
Well, let's remember, we got to have some grace, because we got to remember her ex-husband did steal $500,000 out of the business account.
He did, but yeah. Then you got to leave the stylist at home. You could just tell him to bring you the clothes.
You're right.
Pick out the clothes for you. You ain't got to fly him out there so he has to dress you literally. And
You're
then
right.
he dressed Brit too. Because Brit, she's talking about, Brit ain't had no stylist, so I lent her mine. Listen, the people be doing too much, but you know what? Kelly is a friend. Because that was nice of her. Her girl ain't got no stylist, ain't got no makeup artist. So she said, you could share with me. Mm-hmm. So she did. Angela did duck and dive them up in the Neiman Marcus. Now, the whole room thing, listen, Porsha is going to be a brat to the end. And for whatever reason, I'm feeling Porsha. I'm feeling Porsha and her brattiness. I like Porsha. She's a whole hot bratty mess. But I'm here for Porsha and her brattiness, right? Because she said it's about me. It's my birthday, and you got them asking about Drew. Like, I'm like, girl. And Porsha, I think, did Porsha turn 40? I'm like, girl, this girl is a brat to the end. Okay, she messy. Buying 17 designer bags for her daughter, which I don't believe are real. Yeah, well, thanks, Casey. You bringing up? Don't do that to Kelly. I'm liking Kelly. Don't do that.
See, this is your fault, though. You said you can fire pursue her. This is your fault.
Yeah, but you know what, though? You're right. You buying this girl 17 bags for her birthday, and then the rent's due? This ain't cool. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, that's why y'all here to remind us of all the transgressions that these people do. So you are correct. I stand corrected. But so I liked it. I like the fun shade of like when they have to pick out the rooms, right? Mm-hmm. I like the fun shade because that room for Kelly and Brit, that was messy. The attic room with the 6 beds. That was so.
I was like,
That was so messy. And I do get putting Angela down in the basement because she always hot. Mm-hmm. How old is Angela? Is Angela in my age bracket?
I seen a video of her saying that she was 43 to be exact, in the words of Nene. I thought that's what she said, but maybe it was a joke, but I will look and see.
Oh. Angela's acting older than 43.
Yes, for sure.
With the fan and always sweating, the luggage falling apart. I'm not understanding how. I don't understand her luggage falling apart. I don't understand it. But you know what? Angela, I guess she get it together after she get her first roller check. I don't know. I'm just trying to help her out and figure that out. So, I thought that was cute. Like I said, listen, Shamia knows she like competition. She held on to that bull the longest. And then Angela, for 43, she talking about her hips don't work. Remember she couldn't get on the bull because something with the hips?
Yes, that is what she said.
I don't know what to do with Angela right now. I'm trying to figure out. Come on, I know Royaire. Come on, Royaire with the hair, right? He need to tour some over my way. But yes, but
you.
I mean, I don't. It was what it was. I'm liking it. I'm liking what's going on so far because it's not too heavy. You understand what I'm saying? The show is not heavy. It's not like putting all this. The thing that happened with Kenya, that was heavy, but Kenya did it to herself, know. But that's that. Yeah, and I like Kelly Stylist. I do like Paris.
Okay.
And you know why I like Paris? Because it's reminding me of the old days when we had all the stylists on. We had the white. It's giving me that type of feel.
Okay.
And I think, and you know what? And Paris wasn't doing too much either.
Okay.
Doing too much. You know how some of them come up there and they try to do too much?
Yeah.
I felt like Paris. Why are you not feeling Paris? Because I'm feeling like you're not feeling Paris, and I'm
I'm so weak. Oh my God.
What's up with
I mean, I don't know Paris. I don't know Paris from a can of paint. So
I don't know Paris either, but I'm feeling like you not feeling Paris and I'm not feeling that.
Paris was not the focus of the moment for me, I feel like, Paris can't do no extraness because he is the extraness. The blonde hair, the grandness of it all, like he is a whole moment. So I was like, okay, like go Paris, go.
Oh my God, I cannot.
Not you trying to get me in trouble with the community. Go Paris. Support Paris.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Look, let me show you something real quick because this is exactly how he feels about Brittany. He always has this awkward face. Look at his face. It's always awkward when it comes to her. Yeah. I guess he's showing her ring and he's showing his.
He don't seem proud about his ring now. It's given. How you doing?
Let me get this off the screen because I cannot. I'm not playing with you. Listen.
No, I mean, I just, I don't know. Yeah. Angela's luggage falling apart, you showing up late and inviting Drew to a birthday that's not yours. It was just too much over the top. Like, Angela is doing a lot. And I kind of tried to rationalize it in my head because, of course, this is a show. Of course, we got to have drama. So somebody got to invite her to the party, to bring the drama. But, I was just like, okay, like, here we go with Angela. You already know Porsha is already in the mood. Why would you try to bring down the mood by inviting Drew, who is going to even cause more issues? And I think it put Angela in an awkward space as well, because once we came to dinner with all of the rest of the ladies are kind of side-eyeing you because, ma'am, why are you trying to ruin Porsha's birthday with this chick that she's having issues with? It was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I enjoyed this episode overall. I thought it was a really, really good episode. Even though I felt like it was a filler episode, I thought it was a good episode, good conversation, and the storyline is still continuing to move on. So I truly enjoyed this. Let's see. He told Brit to put her leg down. Yes, he did. Brit was doing a lot. And I was kind of saying this last week. I feel like Brit loves to have the attention on her. And when the attention is not on her, she gets an attitude. She has a problem. She has an issue. And I feel like that's what kind of happened with her and Kenya. Kenya was not giving her the attention that she wanted. She acted out and it became a thing. So, yeah. But that was our recap of episode 7, season 16 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nashville Hold Em. At the end of each and every episode, we ask that you leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section by rating the episode on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section, and we'll go through those in a moment. For me this week, this episode was a strong 7. I gave this episode a 7. I thought it was a filler episode. Wasn't really too much going on. But as I said a little bit ago, they are keeping the storyline moving. We're still learning everybody. We're getting fun little quirky moments from everybody. So I landed this at a 7 for this week. Auntie?
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, I'm gonna bump it up to an 8 just because you said an 8. So I'm gonna bump it to an 8.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was good. It wasn't, we had enough is going on in the world that we don't need everything to be like rah, 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 rah,
Yes.
rah.
Yes.
Shout out to Shamia in the short shorts. I don't think she owns a pair of pants, okay?
Now she don't have no pants.
Honey, she loved them poom poom shorts, okay? Every time. So shout out to Shamia. Shout out to Angela making the home fresh cut fries for her kids, and the kids telling her that Botox in her nose was not working. Shout out to Porsha for being just the ultimate brat, okay? Talking about it's my birthday, it's about me. And I don't know why you did this and you bring these people here. So shout out to that. And for the real moment of Ralph and Drew going to court, I appreciate it because unfortunately these things really do happen in real life with couples. And I think I'm so sensitive to it because I'm familiar. It's just nasty.
Yeah. When
a couple can uncouple nicely, it's the best thing for them and the children and everybody's mental health and well-being, right? And I think they should find a way too, even with the housing, because the kids are used to living there.
Yeah.
Figure it out the best way you can. Yeah. Figure it out the best way you can.
I totally agree with you. I feel like Ralph and Drew really need to grow up. They need to mature. And they need to do what's best to their family. It's obvious that they cannot live apart because apparently neither of them have the financial stability to do it. Right. So they need to ride this wave out of living in the house together, and get into a place where they can both move on financially and be stable with the children.
Yeah. So I agree with you, but I did enjoy it. Yeah. So I'm liking Royaire this season so far. I really am.
I'm going to give it an 8 with you. I truly agree with that. Like you said, we don't need a bunch of rah-rah in the episode, and I thought that this was just a perfect episode. We still got the storyline going. I love the way at the beginning of this episode, how they kind of tied all the conversations in together and was jumping through the different scenes. I really enjoyed that. So that kind of kept me tied in. I like the way that they're producing and the production is going with this new season. So I'm enjoying it. I have truly, truly enjoyed it so far. So let's see what the people have to say. K Mocha is giving it a 7. Miss Doggin is giving this episode an 8. Sass K is giving it a 6. Lisa is giving it a 10.5. Janet is giving it a 7. Emmanuel is giving it a 6. Miss Amy is giving it a 7. Ocean Dreaming is giving it a 7. Sassy K said hit that like button. We appreciate y'all. Thank you, Sass. Let's see. The Essence is giving it a 6.5. Sykes is giving it an 8. Nita is giving it a 7.5. Judy is giving it a 6. Nubian is giving it a 6. Claire is giving it a 7-8, so right in between. Doreen is giving it a 7. Katrina is giving it a 6. Lakeisha is giving it a 9.5. Thank y'all so much for y'all participation tonight. We appreciate it.
We do.
Is giving it a 6. Sykes upped it to an 8. Tadette is giving it a 7. Paula is giving it a 7. Monique is giving it a 5. Well, thank you guys so much for your participation. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. We can't do this without you guys. So, Auntie, any final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to seeing next week's episode. Again, just so y'all reminded, we'll let y'all know when we're about to add other reality shows to our recap. We are 2 more weeks until Basketball Wives. Well, we will be doing Basketball Wives. And, of course, my trending topic soon. I will be doing, not tonight, but I will be doing when the trial starts, because May is around the corner, the Diddy trial. And now it seems like Shannon Sharp got himself into a pickle.
Oh, yes. It's a mess out here in these worldly streets, ain't it?
It's a mess.
It's a hot mess.
It's a hot mess. Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all stay on the lookout for everything we got going on. As Emmanuel said, we will be recapping Basketball Wives over on VH1. They come back May 12th, I believe. So we'll let you guys know when we'll be recapping that. Also, we have the Braxtons is being renewed for a second season. So I believe they'll be back in August. So stay tuned with that as well. We recapped that first season of the Braxtons. So if you want to catch up on our recaps, feel free to go back through our channels and check that out. We truly love and appreciate you guys. Destiny is giving this episode a 5 as well. Okay, Destiny, thank you so much. Yes, Basketball Wives is still on the air. So yes. I believe that's it. Basketball Wives will be reviewing the Braxtons, we said. Did you see that Bravo is coming out with the show for the kids in June?
Yeah, we're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see what they're talking about.
Yeah, the kids are probably gonna be messy, but we gonna watch. I
just pray to God that.
Hey, listen, Teresa Giudice, I think her kid is on there, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, her check is gonna have to go to her mother.
Well, and Riley's is going to Mama Joyce because Mama Joyce got to get her cut from everybody. She got to get her home network shopping in. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Listen, make sure y'all join Diva tonight for trending topics somewhere around 8:30, 8 o'clock. Make sure you join her for that. Stay tuned to our channels. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you subscribe to Chronicles of the Gray Head Diva and Royaire's World. And once you subscribe to both of our channels, make sure you hit that notification bell on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining us, and we will see y'all next week for episode 8 recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Royaire's World.